Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Virginia Yellow Springs Board of Zoning Appeals meeting tonight. Judy, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Salmonson.
Present.
Reed.
Here.
Raska.
Here.
Thank you. Also present is Planning and Zoning Administrator Meg Leatherman.
We review the agenda. We'll go over the minutes from last meeting, then we'll do the one public hearing we have. Judy, have you received any communications?
I have not.
Okay. If everybody review the minutes for a second, then we'll take a vote on accepting the minutes. If you have any changes, please speak up.
I move that we accept the minutes.
Seconded.
Judy, call the roll, please.
Salmonson.
Approve.
Reed.
Yes.
Raska.
Yes, in favor of approval.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the public hearing of the 1425 Brookside Drive. Meg, would you like to give us the background to start with, please?
Sure. Yeah. This is located at 1425 Brookside Drive. An application was submitted for variance by Max Chrome on behalf of the owner, Iron Table Holdings, seeking relief for allowance of a 7-foot fence in the front yards on both Xenia and Brookside Drive. The property is located in the B2 and Gateway overlay zones. Public notice of the meeting was provided to in the Yellow Springs News and to adjoining property owners, and a sign was placed in the yard advertising this meeting tonight. Staff has prepared a staff report outlining the applicable code, and that was provided to the board this past Friday and also made available to the public through our Yellow Springs website. The owner, I'm just going to give a little bit of a background and then
Sure.
talk about it. The owner recently acquired the property to convert it to a recording studio business for a local and widely known artist. The building was previously used as a dentist or doctor's office. I've heard conflicting reports. Doctors, okay. The recording studio is a permitted use in the B2 zone, and the applicant previously received zoning approval for this change of use. A copy of that approval is included in the staff report. They also recently obtained building permits to start construction on the interior of the building to reconfigure it for a recording studio needs. And the construction is still underway in this right now and is with inspections through our NIC, who we contract with for building inspections. The code allows fences in non-residential zones, which this is, up to a height of 8 feet without a separate approval besides a fence permit, which is reviewed at the staff level. As long as they provide a 1.5 foot setback for every foot that they go above the 6 feet. This aspect will be reviewed when a fence permit is submitted. After this, should this variance be approved, then applicant would submit that to staff to review. They did, however, include a site plan showing that they satisfy that requirement and will meet that level of 1.5 foot setback. The fence is designed to extend off of the building wall and around the entire perimeter with a gate across the driveway. It's set back substantially from Xenia Avenue and approximately, I skipped. I'm sorry, I skipped my notes. Let me go back. The code limits the fence's height to 4 feet in the front yard. And in this instant, the code considers this property to have 2 front yards since it has frontage on both Xenia and Brookside Drive. So the request for the variance is specific to the 7-foot fence allowance along Xenia Avenue and Brookside Drive. Where the code requires 4 feet, they would like to put in a 7-foot fence, so the variance is for a 3-foot height variance request. Okay, so back to the design, sorry about that. The fence is designed to extend off of the building wall and around the entire perimeter with a gate across the driveway. And the fence was planned to be substantially from Xenia Avenue, set back substantially from it, about 70 feet from the pavement and about 50 feet from the sidewalk along Xenia Avenue. The applicant has stated that the fence is needed to ensure sufficient privacy and security, but the applicant is here tonight and can elaborate on that, the need for it, with probably more firsthand knowledge than I have, for sure. I prepared a recommendation of approval based on the application material and the code requirements, and also based on the information that was provided to me as part of the public record leading up to this meeting, which is included in the staff report. So I'm recommending approval based on that information, but the board should hear from the applicant and the public and weigh the factors outlined in the code, staff report, and any other factors that you deem necessary to decide on making, if you should grant the variance. Sorry, I just kind of stumbled through that a little bit, going off my notes too much. So basically, it's a 7-foot fence around that they're asking for. The code allows up to 8 feet around the whole property, except for in the front yards, on the corner lots. So the exception would be for 7-foot fence in the front yards on Brookside and Xenia.
Good. I'd now like to open the public hearing.
From the
Oh, yes, I skipped the line. I'm sorry, sir. No problem. Yes, you get paralyzed. Please give us your view. Thank you.
Architecture. Judy, I just emailed you another image, if you wouldn't mind pulling it up, if you could, please.
Can you?
Yeah.
That way they'll pick your voice up in TV land.
No problem.
And Scott says he's on his way, for what that's worth.
We could be done whenever we get there.
I got it.
so-
It's okay, you just won't get it on TV. It's okay.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I think Meg did a good job describing why we think we need a variance to this, basically for security purposes. The fence that I'm proposing is inspired by this particular image. This is something that's called honed block, and if I might, I'd like to show you a couple examples of what it is. This is not sort of your garden variety concrete block.
Honed, like you're honing a knife.
Yeah.
Almost looks like granite.
It exposes a lot of the aggregate. I love it as a modern building material. I kind of despise anything that is not genuine. So I don't like the faked out, like it's something made to look like something else. So this is the actual material that we're proposing.
Wait till John gets it.
Drake, you might want to show it to your
Oh. This is the material.
What is that?
This is the material that I'm proposing for this wall.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to the next image.
Maybe.
So this is the overview, obviously, and I just want to make it clear, kind of, sometimes it's easier to read in 3 dimensions what we're doing. Basically, we're using the building itself as a portion of the wall against 68. I didn't want to run it across 68. I wanted to leave the building exposed as much as possible. So we're picking up at the corner of the building, basically going all the way around the back to the other corner of the building is the idea. That's what I wanted to illustrate with this. And then if you go to the final image, you'll see what the idea is to have a rolling gate. Those of you who've seen the comedy club on Corey Street, the gate is made out of a similar material as the fence. It would be a black steel with a bunch of holes in it, but these would be smaller holes, just different. So variation on the same theme. And that's all I have to show. I'm happy to take any questions.
We'll open up to the public, then the board will have.
We can talk to him first.
That's all Judy.
Is that right?
If you have questions for Max, yes, this would be the time to do
Oh.
that. So he doesn't, yes.
Questions for Max?
You showed the 4 trees on Brookside remaining.
Correct.
Right, the spruce and the 2 sycamores.
Correct.
And the maple.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's also, they have the plan.
Yeah,
in front of them.
they each have one of these.
It was unclear from the plans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the intention, I'll go on the record saying the intention is to keep them
And have you talked to the fire chief about access to the hydrant? The hydrant for this is on 68.
I have not.
It's outside the wall. Yes, I understand, but how is that going to be beneficial to you if you need to use it?
We haven't talked to the fire marshal yet. That's generally something we would do during the permit process, so we usually go do this part first, and clearly, if it was, the fire marshal has the ability to deny the project, actually, so.
Well, I'm just wondering if you just talk with the chief, he might have an idea.
Thank you, we will. I hadn't thought of doing it yet, but we certainly will.
Yeah, because, right now, it sits on 68, and if you've got an 8-foot wall to get over.
Yeah, and we need to be able to get a 150-foot hose around it. So, it's conceivable that they would require a standpipe at various locations. So there's probably mitigating measures we can take if it is a problem.
Yeah.
Any more? Matt?
Those are the two things I had.
Matt, any questions?
No, I have no questions.
How far is the fence back from Breakstone Road?
Brookside, the right-of-way starts, it's not staked right now, so it's hard to know exactly, but we think the right-of-way starts about 5 feet off of Brookside, and then we are stepping back another 1.5 feet, so
Okay.
6.5 feet.
How's the fence operated?
It'll be electric.
Okay.
The gate?
Yeah, electric by the car pulling up to it?
Yeah, like.
Yeah. Oh, so you have to have...
Or there's probably one of those, or, and it'll be both, like a push button.
Keypad.
Keypad, okay.
Keypad.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So the setback is from the property line. What is the setback currently from the property line? You said from the right-of-way, but what is it from the property line?
The property, that shows on the plan that it's 1.5 feet off of the property line. And that's so we could ask for a slightly, so is that what we showed? I don't have the plan right in front of me.
Yes, it's 1.5 feet
Okay.
because it's required because of the height.
Right, so that I didn't want to ask for, I wanted to ask for the minimum variance that I thought was reasonable.
Right.
So,
Actually, you said
So-
3 foot.
Correct, so that'd be 4.5 feet.
apologies, sorry.
On the drawing, it's 3.
Thank you, then that's what we're submitting, yeah.
So-
And that's so that we could,
That's 2 feet higher.
right, I was trying to kind of conform with the rules that would otherwise apply in other districts.
So am I incorrect? If you're asking for a 3-foot variance, then the setback requirement would be 4.5 feet. Is that correct?
Well, there's two ways to look at the variance. It's either a variance in how far back the wall would go or how high the wall is. So I was actually thinking we were getting a height variance as opposed to a setback variance. But
Right.
I guess it's both, right?
Yeah,
No, it's just the height.
It's just,
variance.
okay.
Yeah,
All right. So,
right,
Okay,
and it
yeah.
doesn't apply, the setback doesn't apply
right,
also
it's a-
for
it's-
fences.
So we're not asking for a 3, oh, we are asking for a 3-foot.
You
Yeah,
should
so-
subtract
3-foot
7
height
from
variance,
4.
sorry. Yes, we are asking for a 3-foot height variance, correct.
Yeah,
Ostrom has
fences
joined
are
us.
allowed in the setback.
Yeah,
That's,
sorry.
they put them there quite a bit.
So
The non-property lines.
confused about their section in your summary. On the 3rd paragraph, so that was why I asked the question. And maybe I'm
there is
misreading it,
paragraph or
but
something. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Allowed to be 8 feet high, he's only asking for 7, for each foot exceeding 6 feet, then
Okay.
we have 1.5 foot setback
Yeah, so-
from the side property lines.
For the 2 property lines, the one on the north, or I guess the one that's a side property line abutting to the north, they have to have that setback 1.5 feet from the property line because it's going to be 7 feet instead of 6. The code allows it to be up to 8, as long as they provide 1.5 feet for each foot that's less than up to 6 feet.
Yeah.
Right, but this variance is 3 feet.
This
'Cause it's
variance
just
is
for
for
different
height, 3
property
feet of height. From 4 feet to 7 feet is 3 feet of height. And and only along the
Only on the front.
yards. The
Yeah.
side yards comply.
There's no variance for the side yards.
They're going to be 7 feet.
They're 7 feet, and yes, and the placement of them makes them compliant.
Okay, that was confusing.
Yeah, it is.
Meg, where's the boundary for the B2, the zoning?
Good question.
Starts right there.
It does, on that property line to the
That
north?
property is it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll look, just in case. I'm sure I believe Max, but
If memory serves.
yes, yep. So they do but the property to the north then is a residential.
Yeah.
And then it continues B2, all the way out.
Down to-
Car wash.
Yeah.
So when you pull out of the fence, is the car's going to have to be stopped in the fence to clear traffic?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I was just making sure I got the right view.
Yeah.
And the fence doesn't operate with either clicker or thing. It's not timed or anything. The car's not going to get smashed.
Only on the way out. It's not timed. It has a sensor when you're going out, when you exit. So you don't have to do anything on the way out. It just lets you out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. No, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll hold the gate while you're sitting there,
Yeah,
as long as it sees there's something there.
That was the question.
It has a
Thanks,
little
Scott.
vision,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Does the fence open in or out?
It slides, so it's a
Oh, it slides. Okay.
sliding
Dumb question.
gate, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any questions?
No, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
No, I just want to apologize to everyone for being late. I really thought it was at 6, and I'm so glad you guys sent me a message, because I was about to jump in the shower and get ready for 6 o'clock.
Here's the main thing that you missed. And if Judy wanted to pull up the photograph, you get the best sense.
That's what's going to be made of.
That's nice.
It's home. It's a home block. It's supposed to have.
Go to the glossy finish or the matte?
I think the mat.
Both sides the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hadn't really expected it. It's the same guts, different way to finish the surface.
Okay, now I'd like to open the official hearing to any visitors or anybody from the public have comments? I don't hear it. Ma'am, do you have something to say? Or just,
No, I live on that street, so I'm here
to listen?
find out what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Why does it have to be 7 feet? And that looks more like a solid wall to me. That's not a fence.
That's what it is. It's a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, on here, on the request is for a fence, not for a wall.
Well, I don't think our code differentiates. It doesn't split them apart. They put them all together as a fence,
It's a solid fence.
whether it's a brick wall or a stone wall or a
And
wood fence.
my hearing isn't good at all, but the picture of the solid wall with the bases, is that going, the front yard, do you consider that to be the entrance to the parking lot, or what do you refer to as the front yard?
The front yard is along Xenia Avenue and along Brookside.
Two front yards.
It's blocking out those windows.
No, it won't go in front of Xenia.
Okay, let's not do the back and forth. Also, I don't think that we're able to pick it up because we're not on the mic. Would you like the microphone?
Can we get you the microphone so you can?
So they can hear you in TV land?
Thanks, Matt.
Do you have a front elevation?
We do on this in the middle.
But nothing nice graphic.
The only graphical one is the one
Can
I
I see the picture again of the wall?
And then-
7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And then show her the gate, Judy.
It's your last look at the wall, it's going
What-
on.
What is the purpose? What is the use?
And then if we can take down your questions, so the law doesn't allow us, like him to directly answer you. It's kind of old, like it's just the way the law is. So if you want to give us your questions, then we could potentially answer them for you or have him come up if we don't know the answer.
Okay. Well, it's like an entrance to a cemetery, I'm sorry.
So that is off Brookside,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? That's not off of Xenia.
That's running along, it's on the west side,
South side.
south.
Right, so that's where the existing driveway to Vanderhyde's office is now. That's the same entrance.
Oh, you're not going to use?
They're not coming off Xenia for the entrance. They're using the same driveway behind the building
Oh,
that comes onto Brookside.
okay. Well, just so it isn't another junkyard.
Thankfully.
No, it's not going to be a junkyard, right?
Yeah, because we traded one for another.
And I assume that there's going to be traffic infrequently?
Good question.
We'll get that question asked, good question.
I think Matt probably can answer this.
May I?
Please.
In terms of traffic, I anticipate that it will be very lightly trafficked, possibly comparable to what it was as a doctor's office. It's a private recording studio, not something open to the public where people just come and go as they please. It would be a discrete group of people coming for a specific amount of time.
And soundproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear him? Oh, okay.
And I think, was there another question about, just to be clear, we're not blocking the windows on Xenia Avenue. That portion of the building will remain
Yeah, that was,
unobstructed.
yeah, that was the other question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were there any other questions that I might have remembered?
I think so.
No, I don't.
Well, I'm not here to object to it. I don't like it.
No, but I like what you said, you wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
So that's why you came, and I appreciate that. A lot of people don't even make that effort, and I'm glad to see you did, so you know what's going on.
So with that comment, I will close the public hearing. And any other questions from the board? Judy, we'll go ahead with the Duncan standards. I'd like to say one thing before we start. The applicant gave his answers to the Duncan standards, if you looked in your package. We know his answers are, we want your answers.
I believe we still have to discuss and then motion to approve the variance, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Didn't write that down. Are we discussing?
We can discuss now.
Okay. That's what I said, does anybody have anything? That was any discussion? I'm sorry.
No. So, motion to approve the
Wait,
variance?
we got to go through the Duncan standards first.
Nice to try.
That's where we were.
I'll rearrange my notes.
You won't get a parking ticket, Matt, promise.
30 minutes.
So are we ready? Anybody else have anything to say before the Duncan standards are read?
No, I just think if you're proactive talking to the fire chief about the hydrant, I think that's probably pretty important.
All right, so I am going to read, pause. If you have a concern or question, jump. If I don't hear something immediately, I will go ahead and call the roll on it, all right? So first question is whether the property in question will yield a reasonable return or whether there can be any beneficial use of the property without the variance. Raska.
I'm going to go with no.
All right. Osterholm.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Salmonson.
Yes.
Second question, whether the variance is substantial. Reed.
No.
Osterholm.
No.
Raska.
No.
3, whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be... Oh, I'm so sorry. You forgot.
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, I have no to say.
I thought you suddenly just came down with something. All right, I am so sorry. And
No.
This is for question number 2, whether the variance is substantial.
No.
Salmonson.
No.
My apologies. 3, whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be substantially altered or whether adjoining properties would suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance. Osterholm.
No.
Raska.
No.
Reed.
No.
Salmonson.
No.
4, whether the variance would adversely affect the delivery of governmental services such as water distribution, sanitary sewer collection, electric distribution, stormwater collection, or refuse collection. Raska.
No.
Osterholm.
No.
Reed.
Maybe, depending on the fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Salmonson.
Yes.
5, whether the property owner purchased the property with knowledge of the zoning restriction. Reed.
No.
Osterholm.
No.
Raska.
Yes.
Salmonson.
No.
6, whether the property owner's predicament feasibly can be obviated through some method other than a variance. Raska.
Yes.
Osterholm.
No.
Reed.
No.
Salmonson.
Yes.
7, whether the existing conditions from which a variance is being sought were self-created. Reed.
Yes.
Osterholm.
Yes.
Raska.
Yes.
Salmonson.
Yes.
And 8, whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and substantial justice done by granting the variance. Osterholm.
Yes.
Raska.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Salmonson.
Yes.
You know, before we go to a vote, I will say that across the street, Shattuck's gas station in the mess was cleaned up, but we now have shipping containers stacked. I don't know if you guys are aware of what it looked like before that.
Oh, I
It
did.
was worse.
I remember that place before they made him build the fence.
Yeah. And down the street on Brookside, on the same side of the street, there's a Japanese-style home that has a pretty substantial front fence along the entire property line. I think that's in excess of 4 feet as well. Just some things I noticed driving through the neighborhood. That's all.
Motion to approve the variance to the fence height?
So if you can be specific, a 3-foot variance to the 4-foot height maximum for front yards, and is it B1 or B2? Sorry,
B2.
B2.
Let me see.
Is there any other?
Yeah, no, it is.
Is it B1 or B2?
No, it's B2.
B, okay.
Any conditions, anything? That's it? All right, I've got the motion.
And you'll read, oh, need a second.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been stated and seconded. Judy, would you call the roll, please?
All right, Raska.
Yes, in favor of approval.
Osterholm.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Salmonson.
Yes. That was painful.
You're a busy guy.
Okay, continuing with the meeting, you're free, you can listen to the last 30 seconds, or you're welcome to leave. Agenda planning, Meg.
Yeah, I don't have any other variances that I'm aware of right now.
Anybody have anything you'd like to bring up to the board?
No, sir.
We'll take a motion to go home.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
We've had a motion to adjourn, called for and seconded.
And you can say all those in favor. You
I
can
can-
take a
I
voice
can-
vote on this one.
Oh,
You got the
let's do a
power.
voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned.